Good afternoon, traders and investors. Will back here with another one. Beautiful day on the indexes here today, guys, as our bulls confirm the daily uptrends. But are we out of the woods yet? Or is there potentially more selling to come? That's what we're going to look into today, guys. So we're going to take a look at the major indexes. Great win by the bulls today, but the work is not finished. So we're going to take a look at the major indexes. Take a look at our major tech names as usual. And lastly, my portfolio, because there are a few new trades in it. And so my portfolio, really, what I want to try to do here is only really give the updates at the beginning of the week or when I have new positions. So beginning and end, if I do it every single day, it kind of makes the videos a little bit longer. And I know you guys want a bit shorter videos on the regular. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. SPY up 1.45% today. QQQ up 2.18%, and all of our major indexes in the green. Very nice day on SPY. Take a look at the heat map here. You will see that every single thing almost is in the green here. Healthcare, not performing the best here today, but still decently up. And financials are heavy, our other heavy index here in the S&P 500 up decently. And that's what we wanted to see, guys. We wanted to see our broad market performance come in and help our major technology names. But today, the major winner, definitely technology. On the one-day relative performance, guys, you can see all our major sectors, once again, are in the green. And a couple 2% here on technology and communication services, as most of our major tech names here were over 2% up. NVIDIA with a very nice day, and Tesla with a massive, massive, massive pump. So very, very nice on that, guys. If we take a look at what's left for earnings for the week, well, you can see that tomorrow, decent little day after the close here, CrowdStrike and Salesforce are the ones I will be keeping an eye on. And Thursday, we have Dollar General and Lululemon are going to be the two that I will be focusing on. Today, we did get a little bit of NIO earnings. As you can see, guys, NIO was a stock that was very, very favorable. Chinese EV company back in 2020, 2021, but they just have not been able to get it done over the last year and a half, right? So today, earnings came out on NIO, and unfortunately, it was a double miss by them. But the only reason that the stock was able to recover, well, not only was the market very, very positive today, but they recovered a nice roughly 16%, something like that intraday, right? So 14, 15% intraday, only because they gave somewhat decent guidance for Q3. So NIO, still a company that I'm not going to touch. I do think there are better plays currently available in that segment, right? So getting into our major indexes right away here, guys, we're going to take a look at our daily uptrends having been set by the bulls. This is what we were waiting for. Yesterday's video, I was saying wait for the break of 445 to confirm the daily uptrend, and that's exactly what we got today. So beautiful little upswing by the bulls. Now, we are above our moving averages here, and we are nicely trending up. You can see at the bottom of the screen here, our MACD is starting to curl to the upside as well, giving us some good indication, guys, that this daily uptrend potentially does have legs. So at this point, any pullback, anything above 435 is just going to be for a daily higher low for continuation on the daily uptrend. Now, when the trend is set, you always look one time frame higher, guys, just as we did on the downside, right? As soon as they set the daily downtrend, I said, look on the weekly. We are in weekly consolidation. So now that the daily uptrend is set, we have to once again go back up on the weekly and see. Step number 2 is how much of this move can the bulls recapture, right? The more of the move they recapture, the better the likelihood of smashing our 52-week highs, or at best doing somewhat of a tightening range at the top, right? So far, I do like the size of this move, guys. If we put the fib on this right away, right, you will see that if I zoom in here, we have taken back roughly 61.8% of the move today, almost on the dot, right? So really doing a good job here by the bulls of pushing those higher levels. The closer that we can get to our 52-week highs, the better the likelihood becomes of smashing them in either 1 or 2 shots by setting a new weekly uptrend. The weekly uptrend was never lost, but we can either one-step this by just weekly uptrend continuation, or we can two-step it by just setting a brand new weekly uptrend. But so far, great job by the bulls. Work is not complete. Still want to see how close up here we can get to these highs here. But as I said, any pullback at this point, since the daily uptrend is set, any pullback is just going to be for a higher low above 435. For further continuation, your moving averages most likely going to act as decent support. QQQ. Beautiful day as well. I was saying yesterday's video, watch out for the 372 area. Smashed it today. Daily uptrend on technology confirmed, right? So anything above 359 right now is just going to be any pullback for a higher low for further continuation. Technology bulls actually doing a better job than our SPY bulls here of recapturing a lot of this move. So if you look to the downside here, we'll zoom in once again. taken back over 60, almost 65% of the move. So that increases the likelihood the bulls will be able to either V-shape this, right, from this move down. We were always looking for the weekly higher low. We got it. And now it remains to be seen. Can we one-shot this and continue the weekly uptrend as if nothing happened? Or will we have to potentially do this in 2 shots? The last thing you want to see, guys, is a pullback and a flush of the lows. That would be weekly downtrend confirmed. Our first weekly downtrend confirmed since pretty much last year, right? So we haven't had a weekly downtrend all year so far. We've been very, very good on the higher time frames, and that's where these bulls are coming from. If you're wondering where this buying is coming from, guys, the monthly bulls have always been in control, and the weekly bulls have also always been in control. So don't act too surprised that the bulls are finally stepping up to the plate and doing it when it matters. So let's keep an eye on that one day at a time. XLF financials, finally, financials making a decent little swing up here, right? So we were looking for pretty much anything under 35 was just going to be a lower high attempt, right, for the bears to potentially put in a leg lower here. I like how much of this move the bulls have now recaptured, right? So from 35, we have roughly recaptured, right? Pretty much 61.8, above 61.8% of the move. Very, very good movement. It sets up the potential for your daily trend change to the bulls. Still have not had a daily trend change like on your other indexes. So we're going to wait. As soon as this move tops out, the higher the bulls can get, the more of a chance that they can now set a new daily uptrend. If the daily uptrend gets confirmed, guys, your weekly higher low is set, right? On the weekly, we were always looking for anything above 32.50 to be the weekly higher low for further continuation into this little resistance zone. So taking it one day at a time, want to see how high the bulls can get on this bounce, and can they set the daily uptrend? Going to be crucial. XLV Healthcare. So XLV Healthcare, guys, here, nice little bounce. Tightening range still in effect, right? So we're going to see how high can the bulls get in relation to our 136.50 area here. If we can get all the way back up to the top, they can set themselves nicely for a little pullback and potentially smash through, right? Looking very, very decent. On the weekly as well, we were still in a weekly tightening range. This is a nice little bull flag pretty much off of this move, right? Nice little bull flag, potentially setting up for the smash through, guys. So we're going to take this one day at a time, but healthcare coming back roaring, right? So we were in jeopardy of losing the lows, double bottomed at the lows, still in a tightening range here until we either break the lows here or the tops, but now looking good with our broad market participation starting, right? I would not be surprised if we can get up close to these highs, potentially get rejected, because this is going to be a large move in itself, potentially get rejected, pull back, set a daily higher low, and potentially follow through with some continuation, which would bring this weekly consolidation to an end and send us towards our all-time high area. So very good performance by healthcare today. IWM Russell. IWM Russell, finally a decent day on IWM Russell. 1.4% to the upside. Still a lot of work to do, guys. This is the sector that has the most work to do by far. Anything below pretty much 194 here is just going to be for a lower high. And then the bears get a turn. We'll see how much of this move when it tops out the bears can take back. But it is still, right, not a daily uptrend. We are trying now to reverse with this little upswing here, trying to reverse this. The bulls are trying to put in as much space as possible by engulfing this move to set up for a daily trend change. So I'd like to see us maybe 1-2 more days of green, come back a bit higher here and give ourselves the best chance possible to set that daily higher low and daily trend change here. On the weekly, never lost the weekly. Anything above 180.5 was just for your weekly higher low, but now the bulls have their work cut out for them. It's going to be very tough for them to V-shape this all the way and smash through the resistance. They may have to do this in 2 shots. So we're going to keep an eye on this closely, guys, but growth names, still some of the most beat up names in the entire market, but putting in some good work today. Dow Jones names, value names, coming back roaring, guys. Like, look, right? Very, very nice. 35,300 was the area to watch here, guys. Put the fib on the size of this bounce now at this point, right? You now have an over 61.8% move, right? So the reason why that level is so key, guys, is because when the bulls take back over 62% of a move, it's very tough for the bears to continue the downtrend as if this move didn't even happen. If you only bounce like this, head to the lows, then your likely scenario is the flush. But as we take back more and more of this move, you're now back above your moving averages, back above this horizontal resistance line, right? This massive horizontal resistance line. So bulls doing a great job here. We were always looking for the weekly higher low. Anything above 33.7 was that weekly higher low. The bulls seeming like they have said it, but we have not confirmed the daily uptrend as we have on SPY and QQQ. So bulls still with that to do, and then we will see how much of this weekly move down can we recapture on this upswing. The bulls, however, they do have a decent amount of space and a decent amount of support down here. They've accumulated, so it wouldn't surprise me if Dow Jones name are able to come back up to the high and potentially smash through it should this market momentum continue. But we're taking this one day at a time, guys. They've got step one on a lot of these indexes. The daily bounces are nice. Some of them, the daily uptrends are set. Now remains to be seen how much of these weekly moves can we take back while our daily uptrends are in effect. All right, that is the key that we are missing here. All right, so keep an eye on that, guys. Bitcoin, finally. And what was I saying? This is going to need some news. Well, we actually got the news today, right? So we got the Bitcoin approval news for the ETF, something that's been pending on, off. Well, now they finally actually let it through here. So we're going to have some new Bitcoin ETFs in the US markets. In Canada, we've had them for a while, but this was also always very positive news for crypto as a whole. So very beautiful bounce on Bitcoin now. The bulls have set themselves up nicely for a potential daily trend change when this move does top out. We're going to look for the daily trend change. And if we can get the daily trend change, we want to see how much of this massive disaster we can take back, guys. Can we recapture this entire move? If we recapture this entire move, it's obviously the best case scenario, but we take this one day at a time. But in my opinion, bulls, even though we had a beautiful 6% day today, still a lot of work to do, barely saving our monthly uptrend, right? The higher low on the monthly was 24,700. We barely saved it. So still technically in a monthly uptrend, but barely. Now remains to be seen how much of the move this can take back, guys. I need to see the bulls put in some hard daily uptrends here and really get back to this 30,000 range. Let's get into our major tech names now, guys. Apple, daily uptrend confirmed today, right? So a lot of these tech names, Tesla, as I mentioned yesterday, Tesla was the first to do it. And the reason I didn't take off my Tesla covered calls is because none of the other names did it. Well, today, all the names did it. It's just unfortunately Tesla ran the most in my face with me being covered, so it was kind of bad there. But still, it's perfectly fine, right? So Apple, with the move up here, daily uptrend is now confirmed. Now, we're going to look how much of this move can Apple take back. We were always looking for a weekly higher low above your 160 area here. So now that the bulls have set the daily uptrend, your weekly higher low is set. All right, keep that in mind. Daily uptrends means your weekly higher low is set. Now there's only two possibilities. Either the bears take over and set the weekly downtrend if we flush this level, or we're going to take back enough of this move, and either, since we didn't lose too much of this entire leg here, we're either going to V-shape this or they're going to have to two-step it, right? We're going to see how this plays out, but daily uptrend confirmed on Apple at this point. Your areas that we're targeting to the upside here is going to be this little gap fill here after earnings, right? All the way up to 190 for Apple here. Apple looking very decent. If we do pull back here, anything above 176 pretty much is just pullback for a daily higher low. If we do pull back in this area, guys, I will be trying to write puts in the 175 area. AMD, decent performance on the day, 3.23% here off of our most recent lows, but still a lot of work to do to recapture our 111 area here. So need to see the bulls put in another leg. I want to see them get above 107. 107, this little support, which is now resistance, and your moving averages, need to see the bulls get back above this and set the daily uptrend once more, right? If they set the daily uptrend, your weekly downtrend has potentially stopped. And now we're going to look for the weekly upswing. We'll be wanting to hit as close as possible to the top of this range, but bulls still with a decent amount of work to do, but good job on the day for AMD here. If we continue to pull back here, guys, the daily downtrend continues if we flush 99.50. So we are in my sweet spot, and I did open a position today, a bit late, but still a decent position in my sweet spot. We'll tackle that at the end. Amazon, very decent day on Amazon as well, 1.33%, not as much as some other names, but definitely doing a good job of saving this daily downtrend, right? We've kind of double bottomed here at the lower end of this range. The gap fill with Friday's trading, the gap fill was almost filled, right? Got to give it to them, okay? So What do we need to see on Amazon, right? Amazon needs to set at this point. We need to crack 136.55. As soon as this move tops out, though, let's say we top off and go red tomorrow, need to hold 130.68, guys. Need to hold this and set up a new daily uptrend. Or if this move comes all the way up here, we'll have more confidence that they can use this area as support and then really set the daily uptrend nicely. Amazon kind of lagging behind. A lot of other names have set the daily uptrend, but Amazon has not set it yet. If we do set the daily uptrend, that will mean that your weekly consolidation is over. Your weekly consolidation, I'll remind you, anything above 126.30 was just for a weekly higher low. Bulls playing great defense on the weekly here at the 12 EMA. So if the daily uptrend is recaptured, your weekly higher low will be set here, 130.79, and then we will be looking to the higher end of this range for weekly continuation, 145. Google, monster day on Google. They were actually up about almost 4% at one point, but giving it a bit of it back. Google, daily uptrend is confirmed. What does that mean? Your weekly higher lows are set. Anything above 127.30 now is just going to be for a weekly higher low as well. Weekly uptrend is now reconfirmed with today's trading as well. Google looking very nice. Daily and weekly uptrends. Not a lot of major names have those two things still. Google was able to maintain it this entire time here. So now that we are in breakout mode of this entire range here, guys, we have to look higher. Where's the next area of resistance? We're talking about 145 here. Great job by the bulls. I really like it, creating a lot of space, guys. Even now, anything above 128, just going to be for a daily higher low for further continuation. But expect the bulls to put up a heck of a fight now that we've passed this whole 132 range. Expect them to struggle. Expect the bears to struggle if they ever want to try to come back down here. Now we'll look at Meta. Meta also not quite setting the daily higher lows here. The daily uptrend, right? Daily uptrend would be break of 299. Not quite getting it today, but decent momentum in the higher levels, closing above our 12 EMA as well. So we'll see tomorrow. Can the Meta bulls crack this and reset the daily uptrend that they lost all the way back here? Very possible that they can if the broad market strength does continue. We are now back above our 288 level. This yellow line right here was a very crucial level that I was saying the bulls, if they lose it, it's going to get dicey. They have now recaptured it, playing some very good defense. Meta, I will remind you that we were always looking for a weekly higher low, guys. Anything above 209 was pretty much your weekly higher low. We got it. They were in jeopardy here. We lost the weekly upswing from this level here. Bears had a good chance for a potential weekly downtrend and monthly consolidation, but seems like the bulls don't want to roll over just yet. So we'll see tomorrow. Can the Meta bulls set the daily uptrend? If they do, well then, if we set it like this, anything at that point above 276 will just be for a daily higher low, for daily trend continuation. I need to see the bulls get as close as possible to these levels. Still a bunch of space and a bunch of momentum to V-shape this to new highs, or as I've been saying, they can very well two-step this like on our other names. But Meta looking decent. Great defense by the bulls. Microsoft here. Microsoft not confirming our daily uptrends yet. Still need to crack 333 to make that a reality, right? So Microsoft still in slight consolidation mode, but decent day on Microsoft, 1.5%, right? So at this point, guys, you're really not wanting to flush this 319 area. That would be bad. That would reconfirm a new daily downtrend at that point, guys. But Microsoft looking like the rest of the market here, looking like it does want to push higher. I need to see them crack 333 to the upside. Confirm this daily uptrend. At that point, your weekly higher low will be set at our 313 level. Until they don't confirm the daily uptrend, I cannot say that this is your weekly higher low. But Microsoft was working with a lot of space, just like Meta. Anything above 275 was just for your weekly higher low here. Looks like they do want to set it here still. And then if they do set it here, right, let's say we do smash this in the next few days, well, how much of this move can Microsoft take back with this weekly upswing? If they don't take back a lot and we roll over on the daily uptrends here, we might just set a weekly downtrend into monthly consolidation. But one thing at a time, we need the dailies. Then we zoom out to the weeklies. How much of this can they recapture, right? So Microsoft still with a lot of work to do, but I like how they've played defense so far, coming ever so close to my sweet spot. Now we'll look at NVIDIA here. Sorry for not doing it yesterday. So NVIDIA here also, right? NVIDIA struggling here, but very good base of support after earnings. We're talking about the 450, 455 area, still grinding that 12 EMA higher. until we don't smash our earnings high, 502.59 pretty much, can't sufficiently call this a daily uptrend at this point. Key level now, this 450 level, guys, cannot lose this. If we lose this, it'll be a daily downtrend at that point. So really need to see the bulls. One of two things going to happen. We're either going to crack 502.59, set the daily uptrend back in motion. If we flush this, however, daily downtrend is confirmed. And at that point, we will just be looking for a weekly pullback. Anything above 404 is going to be for a weekly higher low. So as you can see, the higher time frame bulls on NVIDIA, full control. Any pullback on a daily time frame will just be for a weekly higher low. The bulls control the weekly at this point, right? Just a bit of consolidation post earnings here. So keep an eye out on those things for NVIDIA. Tesla ran away from me today, guys. Really ran away. I was expecting yesterday, after they confirmed the uptrend here, I was expecting them to, if today was green, I was expecting a follow through, but maybe like a 2% follow through, something like that. No, they smashed me in the face with almost 8%, right? Just when I was contemplating taking off my covered calls, I was going to do it today if the market was green and we would confirm the daily uptrends and whatnot on more names, but had no opportunity to do it. It just ran and ran hard. By the time the daily uptrends were confirmed, Tesla was already up 5-something%, right? So I didn't take them off. I don't like taking them off, especially when we're this overbought on the short term. Tomorrow, I will be looking for a slight pullback on Tesla myself. If I can get a slight pullback into the lower 250s here, I will take the covered calls off and we will let Tesla pretty much ride, because now Tesla confirmed daily uptrend here. Anything at this point above 229 is just going to be for a daily higher low. Any pullback well above your moving averages. MACD is crossing, looking absolutely beautiful on Tesla. Daily uptrend confirmed means your weekly bottom is pretty much in. Now we're going to see how much of this move can Tesla bulls take back. Keep in mind, Tesla bulls lost the weekly uptrend. So now they have to set a new weekly uptrend. Tesla is absolutely a monster sometimes, right? Can they just do this and never set the weekly uptrend until up here? Absolutely. But they can also do something like this, where they pull up here and then pull back, set the weekly higher low, and rise right into Q3 earnings. So we're going to keep an eye on that every day, but Tesla looking very good. We've also been looking for our monthly higher low too. So as soon as we can confirm a weekly new uptrend, I will be confident in saying that this was your monthly higher low. Looking very good on Tesla for continuation on the monthly. Higher time frame bulls in full control at this point here. As I said, I'll be looking for a small pullback to start riding my 200 shares up further. Next resistance put on Tesla, 270 is going to be a very big area of resistance. We're almost there, right? So we'll see what happens, but lower time frames a bit overbought. Wouldn't be surprised if we do get a pullback, but keep in mind, Tesla just does this all the time. It can stay overbought and just rise tomorrow again, right? So we'll take this one day at a time, but Tesla definitely one of our lead bulls for now. Palantir bulls coming back nicely, guys, right? As opposed to yesterday's trading, Palantir bulls putting in a decent little leg here. I need to see them get above, however, 1572. If you get over 1572, you reset the daily uptrend at that point. However, if you break 1395, your daily downtrend becomes reconfirmed. So Palantir playing kind of in the middle here. Need to see them smash this level to get me a nice daily uptrend. If your daily uptrend is set, I will be confident in saying that your weekly bottom is pretty much in and our weekly upswing will be underway, right? So keep an eye on that for Palantir. But bulls playing great defense here down at the 1360 area. Could not lose this level, and they didn't lose the level. So great defense, but we still need to crush 1569 for your daily uptrend in order for our weekly bounce to firmly be underway. But nice little, if the week ends like this above the 12 EMA, it will be looking good for Palantir bulls. Now PayPal. So PayPal here doing a very good job here of setting the daily uptrend. So confirmed daily uptrend on PayPal. Very good movement by PayPal in the last 2 weeks, right? So has been going up almost every single day. Now that the daily uptrend is confirmed, weekly upswing is in motion. Need to see how much of this weekly move down we can recapture. As I've been saying, I would like to see them get as close to possible as $66, $67 to give themselves the best chance of setting the weekly uptrend exactly like they did right here. It's almost the same move, right? So we're going to keep an eye on that closely on PayPal, but PayPal daily uptrend is underway. So now anything above 60 is just going to be for a daily higher low if we do get some pullback here. And lastly, guys, we're going to take a look at my portfolio here. So on the day here, you can see that we are up to now 43%, taking back a bit of this dip that we had here on the portfolio, this massive day, which was my worst day all year, as you can see, guys, this day right here. And then we kind of hesitated around down here while we were all covered up, gathering some premium and just waiting for the market to tell us what it wanted to do. And now, as you can see, guys, we are now riding the account back up as I've taken a few covered calls off, and we are riding the stocks back up after we've captured some premium. So very, very good job against the S&P 500 here. The S&P 500 after today, probably it'll be up around 17%, and we're up pretty much 43.5%. And on the NASDAQ, you guys can see that we're still outperforming our legendary NASDAQ here, 43.4. And the NASDAQ here today will be up pretty much around 40, right? 40, 41. So NASDAQ kind of like catching up to us. But I do feel that we do have enough buying power in the account and enough runners here that we can continue to outperform the NASDAQ on the yearly basis. So we'll keep a close eye on that. And lastly, our position, guys. Not many new positions here for the account on a whole here. You can see I got absolutely crushed by my Tesla covered calls here that I put on yesterday, expecting a potential pullback as no other stocks had set the daily uptrends except for Tesla. But I was mistaken. So now Tesla has come all the way back up into the 250s. It's perfectly fine though. My cost basis on Tesla is right around 257 right now after riding the stock all the way down with covered calls, right? Rode it all the way down from 260 with covered calls, pocketed all the premium. Well, unfortunately, in the last few days, right? So in 2 daily moves, pretty much, I've given back a lot of that premium. You can see this unrealized loss. That's okay. We captured all this premium on the downside. Now we're just giving it back. So it's kind of as if I've been hedged this entire time. No win, no loss. We're right at my break-even cost. So I am looking to take these off, and we will ride these 200 shares of Tesla back up to our break even and further, right? The new position here, little TMF, right? So TMF trade here. So TMF, you guys don't know, that's a 3 times leverage play on 20-year bonds. I do think that yields are peaking here, especially with our next meeting coming up shortly. So especially with the JOLTS report today, guys, it does give the impression to Jerome Powell that he will potentially be able to pause rates soon and bring them down over the next year, right? So I do think that TMF is set up quite well here. TMF is just a 3 times leverage of TLT, your 20-year bonds, right? And if you guys know anything about bonds, usually the bonds with the longer duration are the ones that are the most sensitive to interest rate changes. AKA, if interest rates peak and start declining, these will fly the most. So that's why I took this position. Very small starter position because we may get a slight retest here. The only reason I took it is because we just confirmed our first daily uptrend in a while here. So I saw the daily uptrend. I've been watching this one for a while. Didn't want to catch a falling knife as rates kept increasing in the last couple of weeks, right? Well, probabilities kept increasing. Daily uptrend confirmed. I now start a position. I am also potentially going to do some call options on them for January or March next year. $5 calls are trading about $1.50 right now. So decent little premium on those. So TMF, very tiny starter position, just waiting if I could potentially get a better price to increase it. Nike, you can see, is now above our cost here of 101, right? So the 101 calls, Nike is now about 101.80. So we're doing pretty good, guys, right? So the covered calls may get called away this week. We'll check in later on the week if we can roll those or if we're going to cut them loose. Baba as well. Baba now steadily above $90, right? So here's Nike, guys, or sorry, here's Nike. You can see that Nike is trading above our 101. So we are able to get an average cost here of $99.96. So we are now in the profit very nicely. And Baba, you can see that our average cost here is about $86 all the way down here with all the premium received. It will definitely most likely close above $90 this week, so not too nervous about that. We'll check the premium later in the week to see if we can roll for more profit or if we get called away this Friday. And now a new position, AMD, the 103s for 50 cents. So about 0.5% for the remainder of the week. AMD 103s, I'll remind you, definitely in my sweet spot. Was a bit late on them today, was kind of hesitating whether I would do this one or some other stocks I was looking at. I went with AMD because it is in my sweet spot, although they haven't confirmed the daily uptrend yet. I'm going to give them a bit of wiggle room. If I get assigned at 103, no problem at all. So that's pretty much everything for the account today, guys. Everything for trading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, consider liking the video. Consider subscribing if you're new. And if you have any questions, as always, leave them down in the comments and I'll answer you gladly. So take care, guys. See you after the close tomorrow. Peace.